Now on WRDE Coast TV.
A wind farm looking for the next step so it can twirl on Delmarva. What is standing in its way?
Lifeguards are hanging up their whistles until next summer. Why you should think twice before going for a swim on Dewey Beach.
And a few quick-forming storms have actually placed us under a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 11 o'clock this evening. We'll talk about that and the amount of rain that's already fallen in our area.
From the beaches to the bays, coverage you can count on. WRDE Coast TV News at 6 starts right now.
The proposed skipjack wind farm still on the hunt for transmission lines. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Mallory Metzner. Charlie Sakaitis has the evening off. Welcome to our news at 6. We begin tonight with the latest on the wind farms planned off Delmarva's coast.
Despite years of setbacks and public opposition, the energy company Ørsted will begin a survey near the Indian River Inlet to identify possible landings for the cables that anchor the wind turbines. It is important to note there is still no confirmed spot on land for the transmission lines, and that is necessary before any wind farm is built. Coast TV News reporter Heidi Kirk shows us how the energy company is confident this survey is the next step to construction, but beachgoers, not so much.
Picking up shells at the inlet is routine for Susan Rossi. Rossi fears her view will never be the same with several wind farms proposed off the coast.
I do understand the benefits of it. My bigger concern is the ocean, the wildlife, the ecosystem. I think it needs a great deal more time spent looking into that piece of it.
The Skipjack Wind Farm is planned 17 miles off the Delmarva Peninsula, but there's still no home for the required interconnection facility on shore. The renewable energy company Ørsted says if a site for that facility is found and this project comes to fruition, it will be good for job creation on the coast and the environment with minimal impacts to commercial fishermen and marine life.
Whenever we do our work, we are very cognizant of taking every measure that we can to protect marine life in the area. And the offshore wind industry is subject to the most stringent level of protection for marine mammals and protected species.
But Rossi still believes this type of work is still too new to know for sure.
I just don't think a few months worth of research is going to give them the answers they need. I mean, things change over time.
These initial schematics from Ørsted show minimal impact on the view, if approved. But Ørsted says it is still determining the final layout and scale of the project.
That survey is expected to begin on Saturday and last into October. I'm Heidi Kirk at the Indian River Inlet, Coast TV News.
Well, the search for the onshore interconnection facility has been arduous and long. You may remember originally the energy company proposed building its interconnection facility in Fenwick Island State Park. Not only did that garner massive public opposition, Ørsted said it determined a large portion of the site was comprised of undisturbed wetlands. The company moved on to look at the Bethany Cedar Neck area to connect its offshore wind power to the grid. Still, nothing has been finalized.
And this brings us to our Coast TV poll tonight. We want to know, should Delaware have offshore wind farms? Let's take a look at the updated results from the last hour.
It's been changing every time we've taken a look here. Now, a majority saying yes. 53% believe we should have that. 47% saying no, they don't want it. Well, this has changed, and if you want to change it and give your vote, you can do that at WRDE.com or our mobile app, and we'll have updated results later in the newscast.
You won't see lifeguards on Dewey Beach after this weekend. Coast TV News reporter Elisa Weber shows us why it's causing extra concern.
Brad Olson lives in Dewey Beach and goes to the beach almost every day. He's worried about people's judgment before going into the water.
People just they think the ocean's a big swimming pool. And so they hop in and they just go for it and they don't realize what they're getting themselves into.
People are worried having no lifeguards at Dewey Beach could lead to more swimming-related accidents, since they will no longer patrol after this weekend.
I guess what concerns me is just the kids, making sure they're all safe. That's what concerns me the most.
Severe rip current warnings are in place for next week. The Dewey Beach Patrol wants people to keep an eye out for signs of possible rip currents in the water.
If there's any debris on the beach that's floating up and washing back out, that's typically where a rip current would be.
Dewey Beach Patrol urges people to do research on rip currents before going for a swim. If you do find yourself in a dangerous situation, never fight the water and swim parallel to the shoreline.
Lifeguards in Dewey Beach actually gave me a wave safety pamphlet. The most important piece of advice on this pamphlet is never turn your back to the ocean when you are in it. This prevents you from knowing what's going on behind you. In Dewey Beach, I'm Lisa Weber, Coast TV News.
It might be after Labor Day, but lifeguards at Cape Henlopen State Park and Delaware Seashore State Park South Inlet are going to stay for a few more weekends. That's according to DENREC. Though these beaches are usually unguarded after Labor Day, the department says significant growth in State Park Beach Patrol guards this year has allowed them to stay open. They say guards will be on duty on Saturdays and Sundays through September 24th, and the beaches will be unguarded during the week.
Well, the good beach weather brings in lots of visitors. One person we spoke with at a local business that sells cool drinks and ice cream, he for one has been loving all the hot September weather.
Yes, the Rehoboth location is much more weather dependent than the Lewis location for natural reasons. And when we have an Indian summer, it's good for business.
And will that second summer continue as we take a live look into Lewis, the Tunnel and Razor camera? Certainly looks like it from that. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us now with a look at our forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Maddie. Thanks to some isolated thunderstorms, we had a chance to kind of cool off just a little bit here, but we still soared well above the norm for this time of the year. Got up to 93 degrees in Georgetown, 94 in Salisbury, 88 in Ocean City. Now, we didn't quite break a record, but we came close to tying it because 94 is the record for this day, set in 2016. Now, just to kind of show you how and what kind of an impact those isolated storms had, we initially started off really quickly by mid-morning. 105 in Seaford, 99 is what it felt like in Georgetown. And then we see it escalating up to like 109 for the heat index for us in Seaford, 99 in Ocean City. And we stayed elevated until the rain hits. Look how it just drops it down to 76 degrees, the effect of those isolated showers and thunderstorms. But you also notice in the surrounding areas, they stayed hot, and then those temperatures started rebounding. But we actually, as a result of those isolated storms, have been placed under a severe thunderstorm watch, meaning the ingredients are in place to possibly form a severe thunderstorm. And we actually had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings earlier this afternoon. Now, that will stay in effect until about 11 o'clock. So we've been monitoring the rain. We had at the official site in Georgetown just shy of a half an inch, but a little more impressive when you get down to the details of where we had those storms really hit. In Prime Hook, we had 1 1/4 inch of rain that's already fallen, over an inch in Georgetown and Stockley, 0.8 in Milford, Slaughter Beach, 0.67, and just over a half an inch for us actually in Lewis. Now we talk about Hurricane Lee, because when we were talking about the possibility of those rip currents for for next week, that's because this storm is still very strong. It's a Category 4. Was a Category 5 briefly, but continuing at sustained winds at 150 miles per hour. We're expecting for it to continue to move towards the north, but the spaghetti models became a little interesting for today, because the latest run is showing that it's curving up and away from the coast a little bit more than initially thought. So we're looking for it perhaps to not, well, of course, we're not looking for a direct hit at all, but it's like it's curving maybe a little more so away from the northeast or the east coast. But because it's so big, we're still going to have some concern for rip currents even in our neck of the woods. Coming up, we'll talk more about your forecast. Till then, back to you, Maddie.
Well, thank you. The Frankfort Police Department needs your help finding 3 stolen dogs. Take a look at your screen. Police say the dogs there are Kylo, Kuate, and Kaylee. They were stolen from their yard on Honolulu Road in Frankfort sometime Wednesday night. The dogs are American bullies. Anyone with information on who may have stolen those dogs, please call the Frankfort Police Department.
A skateboarder was hit and killed in Del Mar Thursday night. That's according to Delaware State Police. Troopers say that the 27-year-old was riding his motorized skateboard in the middle of Bi-State Boulevard when he swerved in front of an SUV for unknown reasons. Police say the 21-year-old Fruitland woman driving the car tried to swerve to avoid him but was unsuccessful. According to police, the skateboarder was taken to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead.
The time has come. The first application round for cannabis business licenses in Maryland is set to begin November 13th. The state says 75 standard dispensary licenses will be granted to businesses across Maryland. That includes 2 licenses designated for Wicomico County. Officials say even more licenses will be granted for growers, micro growers, and processors. The application period is open for a month, with applicants chosen on or before January 1st, 2024 by lottery.
Grant applications are now open for the Georgetown-Millsboro Rotary Flags for Heroes Fund at the Delaware Community Foundation. The foundation says award grants range from $500 to $5,000. They say applicants should be nonprofit organizations working to address community needs in Georgetown and Millsboro. The foundation does note that preference will be given to organizations located in Georgetown and Millsboro. According to officials, applications are due by October 31st.
Another road work reminder, this time in Laurel. DelDOT says Central Avenue between Front Street and Market Street is closing on Monday. Officials say the road will stay closed through next Friday. During that time, DelDOT says crews will be working on sewer line repairs.
Just a reminder for everyone in Lewis, Robinsonville Road is closing at the intersection with Plantation Road on Monday. After that happens, DelDOT says drivers will need to use Cedar Grove Road as a detour route. The department says the closure is set to go in October, where that entire section of Plantation Road will close until the new roundabout opens in May 2024.
We have a lot more news to get to.
Paid parking season is almost over when it's free to park again.
And we are right now under a severe thunderstorm watch. It stays in effect until 11 o'clock for this evening. We'll talk more about the possibility of rain over your weekend as well.
Tearing down Milford Middle School plans after the demolition. We're back in just 60 seconds.
Don't miss the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend only at the Delaware State Fairgrounds. Browse over 40 hot tubs, cold therapy tubs, and swim spas from 5 major brands at huge savings. Financing is available and admission is free. That's this weekend at the Delaware State Fairgrounds in Harrington. Visit hottubexpo.com.
Home IQ, the new smart home technology by Shell Brothers, gives you control of your entire home, even when you're not there. Your smart home command center allows full control of your home from one monitor. Smart switches in every bedroom let you set alarms, check the weather, and control your lights using just your voice. With mobile access to your video doorbell, keyless entry, and garage door, your home has never been more secure. Introducing Home IQ by Shell Brothers, now included with every new Shell Brothers home.
Don't miss the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend only at the Delaware State Fairgrounds. Browse over 40 hot tubs and swim spas from 5 major brands at up to 50% off. Financing is available and admission is free. That's this weekend only at the Delaware State Fairgrounds in Harrington. Visit hottubexpo.com.
Official demolition of the historic Milford Middle School building started this morning. The building has been vacant for 10 years. Coast TV News reporter Britt Leone shows us what plans the Milford School District has for a new building in its place to serve generations to come.
The historic old building that dates back to 1929 has a new future.
We're really excited about the plans that are developing.
Milford Middle School Chief Operating Officer Sarah Hale says the new school fits the growing city.
So this will be a 1,000 student school for grades 5 and 6. So currently our elementary schools serve grades 1 through 5. So it'll bring all the 5th grade students out of those schools, creating space for them, and the 6th graders out of our middle school, our current Milford Central Academy, which will create additional space in that school as well.
While the district welcomes the new, Vice President of Milford School Board Matt Booker says it's important to keep the school's history alive.
And we're going to have a walking path and a significant monument to those brave 11 community members that were the first really to be desegregated in Delaware.
Booker says some teachers and school staff who worked in the building before it closed will still serve in this new building.
They are still, many of them, those that have not retired, are still in the school district today.
A new beginning for students in Milford to come.
The school district says once demolition wraps up, there will be a bidding process for the new school in November. They expect construction to start in early January or February of 2024. I'm Britt Leone in Milford, Coast TV News.
Right now, we're under a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock this evening. This is the latest look at radar. Storms are breaking up right now, and we'll talk about some rainy situations over your weekend coming up.
We just bought our first home. Sure, there's a lot to fix and money's tight, but thanks to my husband, we're keeping our spirits high and all our costs low. Because with him, the glass is always half full.
Babe, got it.
even if it's leaking.
You're always there for them.
Of course.
And we're always here for you. Food Lion, here for every moment.
Welcome the new season with a deep cleaning by Stanley Steamer. Our certified technicians will renew your carpets, air ducts, upholstery, tile floors, and more, clearing away the dust and debris. We clean using powerful proprietary equipment and family-safe cleaning solutions to leave your space looking and feeling fresh. Call or go online to schedule your professional cleaning with Stanley Steamer today.
When adventure calls, answer in a Toyota RAV4. Equipped for a range of capability, ample cargo space, and to keep you connected. Right now, buy a RAV4 with low APR financing. Toyota, let's go places.
Monday at 4 on Coast Life. Unlock the power of reading with Summer Method for Dyslexic Individuals. Boost your business with Preston Automotive's top-notch commercial event. Plus, more on Coast Life, Monday at 4 on Coast TV.
They just ripped the ATM out of the wall.
Were you trying to rip me off? These are the stories that impact your life.
Moving to Coast TV in September.
When choosing a granite countertop, choose one for real life and beauty. No matter what life throws at them, they'll look beautiful forever. Ancient Art Stone invites you to discover the affordability of granite and upgrade your home to the beautiful works of art from Ancient Art Stone. Centrally located in Milford, Delaware, serving all of Delmarva to make your dreams a reality. Visit us and allow our devoted professionals to craft, fabricate, and install a superior finished product that will transform your home into a work of art.
Sponsored by Ancient Art Stone, where countertops are always a work of art.
We've had a very isolated pocket of thunderstorms that have flared up throughout the afternoon hours, prompting a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, and we are currently under a severe thunderstorm watch for the area in general, meaning we have ingredients possible for a severe thunderstorm, but that's primarily it. Courtesy of our tunnel and razor camera, we have 85 degrees, so the temperatures have recovered after cooling down significantly for us with the help of the rain. Near record heat today, not quite as hot, but still extremely humid, especially after the rain has hit. We're watching out for more in the way of isolated thunderstorms over the weekend, and we are still tracking Lee in the Atlantic, which is now a Category 4 hurricane. This is the latest look at live radar. All the rain has been basically moving towards the north at about 15 miles per hour. We've had some reports of some hail actually in Milton and some heavy downpours causing some blinding rain. But aside from that, everything's been pretty typical for some afternoon summertime thunderstorms. Nothing in the way of threat of tornadic activity or anything like that. But we're going to stay under this severe thunderstorm threat, so to speak, for the rest of the evening, at least until about 11 o'clock for this evening. Now, what storms we have seen have been very closely tied to this trough that's sliding through. And it just happened to be positioned right exactly in the center part of the state. So, you know, places like Georgetown, Lewis, you caught a whole lot of rain, but other surrounding areas, not even a drop. The true definition of isolated showers. Temps, 80 in Lewis, 80 in Rehoboth, 85 in Lewis, 78 in Georgetown, cooler because that's where the rain hit, 80 in Ocean Pines, 78 Ocean City. Now, the 24-hour change, you can kind of see where the rain has had its effect. You see it dropped the temperatures by 11 degrees from 24 hours ago near and around the Georgetown area. And where you see all this purple, that's where the rain hit the hardest, actually. But the dew point temperatures are still very much elevated into the 70s. So the mugginess sticks around, and the temperatures and what it feels like already rebounding now that the sun has come back. I mean, we've had highs well into the 90s every single day, from 92 to 93, 96, 97, and 93 for today, which is only one shy of tying the record high for this date. Saturday morning, 80 in Long Neck at 9 o'clock, 78 in Milton, clear skies. We'll see spot showers flaring up at about 2:30, particularly of Milton and Milford, mostly in the inland areas, not necessarily for the coastal region. Now for Sunday, the winds will be shifting a little bit more out of the southeast and watching out for flaring up scattered showers in the afternoon there as well. But the bottom line here is that over the weekend, we're finally going to get a real break because you see, here's a look at the temperatures we're expecting in the 80s. Follow the yellow line for the air temperature, but the orange line is what it's going to feel like. You see, we're not going to feel any worse than about, let's say, 92. That's a little bit closer to our speed or what it should be for this time of the year. Saturday afternoon, feeling like the 90s, but notice Sunday, feeling like the 80s, and we start getting that break, so it starts feeling a lot better going into Tuesday and Wednesday, so that's a good thing. Real quick note on Hurricane Lee, Category 4, going to stay at Category 4. All the models are looking like it's going to start making a more of a turn towards the north, and when we take a look at some of our more closer models, you'll notice that this coming together right here, this line is going to act like a baseball bat, and looks like it's going to foul tip the storm away from our coast. And that's what we hope will stay true to fruition or come to fruition. Here's a look at your exclusive Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling extended forecast. Yeah, we have a chance of rain all those days, but remember, it's just briefly and in the afternoon hours.
Thank you. Rejoice. Paid parking season on Delmarva is almost over. In Rehoboth, Dewey, Bethany Beach, and Fenwick Island, paid parking ends on September 15th. That is next Friday. There's still some more time to wait for Lewis and Ocean City, though. That ends on October 15th and October 31st, respectively.
The Food Bank of Delaware will be holding a mobile food pantry at the Laurel Fire Department on Tuesday. The bank says it will run from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Anybody who wants to participate in that food pantry can participate and register online. Make sure you bring proof that you live here in Delaware.
It's time to take another look at our Coast TV poll. We want to know, should Delaware have offshore wind farms? Take a look at the updated results. Looking at the screen here, 48% say yes, 52% say no. So now that's flipped again, the majority now saying no. If you haven't voted yet, you can go to our website or our mobile app right now and share your thoughts with us. We'll have updated results again on Coast TV News at 11.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studio.
What's going on, sports fans? We are in the thick of high school football season, but DSN has even more for the fall. The Delmarva Sports Network is partnering with University of Delaware on select home games for UD's field hockey, football, men's and women's soccer, and volleyball programs will be broadcasted on DSN. This is the first year we are partnering with University of Delaware, which means Blue Hens coverage will expand to southern Delaware and the eastern shore of Maryland. The first UD game on DSN will be this Saturday at 7 p.m. Men's soccer action you won't want to miss. Staying with fall sports, it's Friday night and we've got you covered in Delaware. Tune in to our game of the night, an up and down state battle between Delaware Military Academy and Delmar. The Seahawks are coming off a 44-21 loss against Louisiana in game one, but first-year head coach Matt Carey was optimistic coming out of it. Delmar started the season on a great note with a 49-12 win over John Dickinson. The Wildcats didn't punt once. This game will be live on DSN at 7 p.m. Make sure you tune in to the live coverage of Friday Night Lights. That'll do it for us for now. Have a great night, everybody.
Get ready for the all-new, redesigned 2024 Subaru Crosstrek. The 2024 Crosstrek is safer than ever for even more peace of mind on every drive. With a Subaru Crosstrek, you can count on plenty of adventures ahead. And when you choose Gateway Subaru, you're supporting local schools through Subaru Loves Learning, which helps kids get the school supplies they need. We're more than just a car company. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
When it comes to building Delaware, I set my sights high.
When duty calls, I answer. No reservations.
And no compromises. Creating the perfect dish takes expert precision.
I help solve the most complex problems.
And while it may seem like our jobs are all over the map,
they all started at Del Tech.
The Boscov's Albi Awards are back. Our buyers compete by bringing you incredible deals, but the real winner is you. Must-have fall fashion tops from Ruby Road, only $19.99. Men's and young men's 7 apparel heavyweight Sherpa-lined hooded jackets, $12.99. It's White Mountain Week at Boscov's. Ladies' White Mountain shoes and boots, $29.99 to $59.99. And register to win a free pair of White Mountain shoes. Entire stock of Keurig K-Cups are now 25% off at all Boscov's.
Coverage on the road, in your community, along the coast. The IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep, live on the street, day or night. From breaking news to weather in your town. The IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep, coverage you can count on.
100.9% classic country plays real country.
Cap off the season with the 4 best days of fall at Sunfest. Experience the ultimate celebration of food, drinks, arts, crafts, and entertainment along the boards from October 19th to the 22nd. Embrace fall with a variety of fun activities, including beach bonfires, corn maze, tractor rides, and pet and bicycle events. Shop around over 200 arts and crafts vendors. Immerse yourself in music with an incredible lineup of free musical performances. Enjoy free family fun all day. Visit oceocean.com/sunfest for more.
WRDE First Alert Weather, brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland.
Coming up new on Coast TV News at 11, boardwalk regulations changed. What you can now do in Ocean City, that story and more on Coast TV News at 11.
Right now, we are still under a severe thunderstorm watch, meaning that the ingredients are on the table to make the cake, but we hadn't started cooking just yet, okay? But that's going to stay in effect until 11 o'clock. We've had some isolated thunderstorms that flared up between Millsboro, up towards Milton, over towards the Lewis area, but that's actually beginning to subside at this present time. But we are included in a wider area that's going to stay under this severe thunderstorm watch, at least for a little while. Most of our storms were connected to this particular trough that's sliding throughout central portions of Sussex County. It's beginning to wane and weaken a little bit more as we kind of go throughout the rest of the evening hours. And we're going to lack a little bit of heat energy that would help kickstart it a little bit more. But let's still watch out for that because it will create opportunities for blinding rain that'll be sudden because things are so isolated. Here's a look at your exclusive Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling 10-day forecast, courtesy of Coast TV. 60% chance of rain on Saturday, but remember, we're talking about 2:30 to 3 o'clock, and that's primarily it. Isolated pockets of thunderstorms for us on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, but notice this, we begin to trend lower and cooler. Temperatures will then, by the time we get into the latter portions of next week, slide into the 70s.
Well, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.